There's everybody. Catherine, I have a question for you. In the United States, the shorter familiar form of Catherine is Kathy. Do they use that abbreviation in France?
No, no, no. Abbreviation, it's so American. We don't use that here.
I,
No,
I, I, I sort of figured it was that way,
no.
right?
Yeah, this is very American, but not here.
Well, I
Here,
started.
my name is Catherine.
Oh, say it again.
Catherine.
Wow,
Catherine.
it's very pretty. French
It's
is such a
it's the same spelling. It's just a different pronunciation.
different pronunciation. Well, you'll have to put up with our uncouth American pronunciation, but
That's fine. I
I'm
like my
sure
name in English.
I'm sure you're used to it. French is such a beautiful language.
It
Of
is.
all the languages, I think it's the most beautiful. Much much more beautiful than German, anyway. No offense. I am half German, so I guess I can say that, right? But my grandmother was German. Her family was German, and she used to say, I can't remember it now, but you you make love in French, you do something in Spanish, you do something in Italian, and then you call the hogs in German. All right, let's do a little Tai Chi. Ran, why don't you lead us in a couple?
Okay.
Good. Hold on before you do the next one. Imagine you've got a kid's kickball. This has nothing to do with what Rand just did. This is just something I was thinking about. I thought I would throw it in here, and then you guys can play with this a little bit. But imagine you've got, this is a nice light little kickball here. Imagine you were doing the Tai Chi form while you hold on to this kickball. Now, some of it you can't do that way, but most of it you actually could with a physical, with a light ball like this, right? I'm not suggesting that you go out and buy a kickball, right? But you can do this with sort of with your proprioceptive feelings, with the feelings of the body. Watch. And it's much more realistic when you do it this way than with the ball. That's just to give you an idea. I'm going to turn a little bit sideways. The ball, right, just like that kickball I had, is in here. But it's also out here. It's inside you and it's out in your hands at the same time. Plus, you can think of the one that's in your hands as the opponent that you're wrestling with. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I do that, what I end up paying more attention to than if I sort of focus on my hands. You don't really focus on your hands. You focus on this. And the reason you focus on this is when you wrestle with someone, what you do with your hands is less important than what you do with your core body. Right? Watch. Draw him in. Right? So you're surrounding him. Watch, like you've got hold of something. If you try to do a wrestling move like that with your arms, you will ruin your shoulders. Because shoulder joints are not strong joints, as every athlete knows. So you don't do it like this. Right? Because that means the root of the movement is in the shoulders. Right? You do it with the core, and the shoulders are held relaxed, but rolled down and in a way they don't even move. A little bit. What you're doing this with is your body, your whole body, but especially your core. I saw a great cartoon the other day. Young Arthur, before he was king, had hold of the hilts of the sword in the stone. And he's yanking on it and yanking on it, and Merlin is right next to him, saying, "Use thy core." So I don't know whether you get what I mean. It's something you just sort of have to feel when you do it. But if you sort of use your imagination a little bit, your body imagination a little bit, it really feels quite real. You know, the two things. The Dan Chin, when you're doing the form, the Dan Chin should stay here. Shouldn't be wandering around the room. It should stay right here in your central core. And I'll tell you why I say that in a minute. So when you think about what I'm trying to say here, when you think about that, feel the Dan Chin inside here. Is it staying in place? Or is it kind of wobbling around, particularly when you make certain moves? So This move, for instance, right here. That's actually a very difficult move because you are moving from this position to this position while you're doing this move, and it's very easy for your Dan Chen to kind of get out of place, so to speak. So the reason I'm bringing that up is just be aware of the feeling of it inside. Does it stay in place? When it stays in place, its movement is efficient and smooth. When it gets out of place, well, of course, it's not smooth anymore because it's sort of rattling around and it's not very efficient. Because to the extent that it's rattling around, you're going to lose efficiency. It's not, some people might just do it naturally. I don't know, but I don't. I have to work on it. And you can't work on it if you're not aware of it. So what's happening? Well, the Dan Chen is sinking at first. And then it's rising again, but it's also turning this direction. Oh, that's kind of tricky. It's very easy to sink the Dan Chen and then for it to sort of rattle out of place rather than staying firmly seated where it should be, to do this movement. Why is it difficult? Because you're raising everything. So it's very easy to sink the Dan Chen, and then you sort of raise everything, and it sort of falls off to the side. Now, is it doing that physically? No, I don't think so, but it sure is doing it energetically. And you can feel it, at least for me, I can feel it. Right? I think you can feel it if you pay attention. It sinks, and then if you raise your chi and try to turn it, it sort of gets a little out of place. So then you can ask yourself, okay, well, what else could I do? How else could I handle that? And I don't necessarily have an answer for you. I have my answer. But I'm actually, after 30 years, I'm still working on it. How do you route the energy in your body so that it stays comfortable and smooth and efficient? And you'll know it's that way because it won't rattle around. What was the other thing I wanted to say? What I'm talking about here, this is kind of an advanced way of looking at things, but I'm just going to throw it out there today and, keep it in your memory banks, play with it a little bit as time goes on. But what I'm really talking about is the difference between moving from the outside in to the inside out. When your mind is on your hands, and that's just a code, right? But when your mind is on your hands, you're out in the periphery. Your mind is in the periphery, and you're moving from the periphery inward. Everybody who starts Tai Chi and Qigong does it that way. Everybody. Because that's just the way our cultures train us to move. It's subconscious, but that's what happens. What I'm suggesting is it's really a form of meditation, a kind of meditation where instead of being on the periphery, instead you're in the center. And you move outward from the center. So I'm not paying attention to my hands, or the attention I'm paying is very secondary. Right? What I'm paying attention to is this. I'm paying attention to this and then letting it go out into the hands just by relaxing my arms. That's very different than being out in your hands. And then what happens is this ends up being a vacuum. You're just not really very aware of it. Okay, guys, I need, nature is calling. I need to take a little break. So, Ran, why don't you lead another one, and then Catherine lead a couple, and then Jill lead a couple, right? And I'll be back shortly.
Okay, let's go.
תודה רבה. Okay. Here we go. Number 2.
Thank you, Catherine. Catherine.
Catherine.
Okay.
That's okay. Catherine is
Catherine?
nice. Catherine is really nice. I like it.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right, here we go. Number 2.
Okay, thanks. I want to show you guys something called the 8 characteristics of Chen style Tai Chi, and we're doing a form of Chen style Tai Chi. I want to focus on one in particular, but I don't think you've seen this before, so I'll show you the whole thing, and maybe later this year we'll go through the whole thing after we've gone through the form one more time. So hold on just a second. Okay, I think I finally have it up here. All right, can you all see this? Kevin?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so these are, this is called the 8 characteristics of Chen style Tai Chi. And they go from number 1, which is I Chi Yun Dong. Yun Dong means any kind of purposeful movement. So we translate I Chi Yun Dong as integrated movement. I represents your mind, and Qi is your energy. Yi Qi is your mind and your energy as one thing, integrated. And it goes all the way through to number 8. So somehow we've lost the, never mind, we've lost the size here. But what I really wanted to focus on was number 6, Shu Shi Yundong. Shu Shi Yundong. Empty and full movement. This one right here. Shu Shi. Shu Shi Yundong. Empty and full movement. Well, we've got 5 minutes left, so I can squeeze this in. Often, empty and full movement, people think of it in terms of push hands. So, and terms of sides of the body. The right side of the body is full, the left side is empty. The left side of the body is full, the right side is empty. Somebody, let's say, pushes on my right shoulder. They're pushing like this. What should you do in push hands? Their push is full. So your right side should become empty. They push your right side, the right side just yields You've heard the phrase yield and overcome. Right? That's the first part of yield and overcome. Right? Your right side stays empty. Your left side is full. The guy comes in, you yield on the right side, and you're full on the left side. Right? However, there are many other ways to think about full and empty. Full and empty really means yin and yang. It's a form of yin and yang. What we were just talking about, to be out in your hands, to be out in the periphery of the body. So the eyes, the hands, the feet. That's the periphery. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the periphery. Right? When you're out there mentally, so to speak, and energetically, that's full. What's empty is your inner core. The outside is full, the inside is empty. And it's okay to do that if you're aware of it and you mean to do it on purpose for some reason. The problem is that's where most people live. It's their default position. They are not aware of it. They're full out here. Hand-eye coordination, using tools, using a keyboard, driving a car. And all this gets forgotten. It's empty. Years ago, when we started with Master Zhang, he was so, I'm not kidding, guys, I'm really telling you the truth. He was so developed in this part of the body that you could, I've got a black shirt on, so and if I had a black, I've got a blue shirt on under here. But imagine I had squirrels underneath my blue shirt, and the squirrels were running around, and the shirt was just going like this, going crazy. We called it his bag of squirrels. Right? He was not stuck in the outside. He could be in the outside if he needed to be for some reason, but you usually don't need to be, especially in Tai Chi and Qigong. Right? Where you need to be full is inside. In part, maybe the biggest part, is it's a mental trick. You have to be aware of the fact that you're on the periphery and the center is vacant, is a vacuum, is empty. And then you go, oh, okay, well then, boom, make it full. Right. How do you make it full? Well, you go there. You go there mentally. Right? Pay attention to it. It's very similar to Zen. Most people live in the past and in the future, which means the present moment is empty. What Zen says is, look, you cannot live in the past, and you actually can't live in the future either. The only place and time you can live is right now in this moment. This moment should be full. The past and the future should be empty. So it's a very similar thing. Your center should be full. Your periphery, yeah, you're aware of it, but it's like, instead of having everything out in the periphery, bring it into the center and then grow out from the center back to the periphery. Oh, now your whole being is full. So there you go. Okay, tomorrow I want to go through these first 4 moves and have you analyze them for the yin and yang cycles. I want you to get that down because that's the way you can teach yourself. There's a million forms and a million kinds of Tai Chi and a million different forms. You can't learn them all here. But you have to be able to watch someone either live or on YouTube and be able to see what they're doing. Okay, guys, have yourselves a good day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Ciao. Kevin, stick around.